We have covered a manager's role, styles, and skills. But now we ask a more profound question: what makes an excellent manager? This moves beyond mere competition into the qualities that define outstanding leadership. The text provides two beautiful summaries. An excellent manager taps into talents and resources in order to support and bring out the best in others. And an outstanding manager evokes possibilities in others. Let's explore the qualities that allow a manager to do this. First, creativity. The text states that creativity is what separates competence from excellence. It is the spark that propels projects forward, captures attention, and pulls different, disparate pieces together into a cohesive whole, adding enthusiasm in the process. Second, and seemingly in contrast, is structure. An excellent manager knows how to work within the given structure. The parameters, limitations, and guidelines, and not let the structure interrupt the process. It is vital to know the structure intimately so you can guide others to work effectively within it. Third, intuition. This is defined as the capacity of knowing without the use of rational processes. Managers with keen insight are often able to sense what others are feeling and thinking. This allows them to respond perfectly because they have a deeper understanding. The stronger one intuition, the stronger a manager will be. Fourth is knowledge. A thorough knowledge base is, of course, essential. But for an excellent manager, this knowledge must be so ingrained and integrated that it becomes transparent. What does this mean? It means the manager is no longer focusing on own knowledge, they are focusing on the employee and what that employee needs to learn. The excellent manager lives from their knowledge base without drawing attention to it. Fifth is commitment. A manager must be committed to the success of the project and all team members. They hold the vision for the collective team. It is this commitment that pulls the team forward during trying times. Sixth and critically is being human. Employees value leaders who are human, who don't hide behind their authority. The best leaders are those who are not afraid to be themselves. Managers must respect and connect with others on a human level, will inspire great loyalty. Seventh, we have versatility. This combines flexibility with an ability to be non-reactive. It means not being attached to how things we have to be. This openness is what allows a leader to change quickly when necessary. It is the pathways to speedy responsiveness. Eighth is lightness. An excellent manager doesn't just produce outstanding result. They have fun in the process. This lightness does not impede result, rather it helps move to the team forward. It complements the seriousness of the task and contributes to strong team result and retention. Ninth is discipline, also defined as focus. This is not about punishment, it is the ability to choose what one pay attention to and live from that choice. This form of discipline is self-mastery. When you role model the ability to live from your intention constantly, you role model an important leadership quality. The final quality is big picture, small action. This is the ability to synthesize two different altitudes. Excellent managers can see the big picture, the overall strategy, concurrently with managing the details. They understand that small actions are what lead to the big picture. A great manager is skillful at doing both, thinking big while also paying attention to the details that make the big picture possible. To recap this important section, we looked at 10 qualities. There are strategic qualities like creativity, intuition, and seeing the big picture. There are functional qualities like understanding structure, having transparent knowledge, and possessing discipline. There are interpersonal qualities like commitment, being human, and lightness, and there are adaptive qualities like versatility. But the core principle is that these qualities enable a manager to evoke possibility and bring out the best in their people. Knowing the skill and qualities is one thing, applying them is another. So, how can a manager be more effective? We will now cover a series of practical strategies. First, choose a field. It is very hard to be productive without enthusiasm. Second, hire carefully. This is critical insight. A mediocre team will give mediocre result, no matter how well managed it is. A common mistake is holding on to an employee who just doesn't measure up, perhaps because they are not terrible at their job. A good manager makes the tough call. They will replace that person or move them to a role where they can unambiguously succeed. Third, create a productive environment. This is a challenge because it requires different approaches depending on the context. Sometimes productivity is maximized by giving everyone their own office. Other times it achieved by moving everyone into an open space. Financial incentives might be used. Usually a combination is required. One element that almost always boosts productivity is providing an information system that empowers employee. Fourth, an effective manager must define success. You must make it crystal clear to your employees what constitutes success and how they should measure their achievements. A key caution here is that goal must be realistic. This seems obvious, but project schedules, for example, must be set by the pupils who are actually doing the work. Unachievable goals do not motivate, they undermine an organization. Fifth is good communication. Simply put, if a person does not enjoy interacting with people, it will be very hard to manage them well. This requires building a wide range of personal contacts within the organization, and communication must be a two-way street. People must be encouraged to tell you what is really going on and give you feedback, not just about the company, but about your role in it. The sixth strategy is perhaps the most advanced. Develop your people to do their jobs better than you can. This means actively transferring your skill to them. Now, a common question is, isn't this threatening? Is a manager not just training their own replacement? A smart manager sees this differently. They like to see their employees increase their responsibilities because it frees the manager to tackle new or undone tasks. The text is clear. There is no shortage of jobs for good managers. The world has an infinite amount of work to be done. Seventh, build morale. You must make it clear that there is plenty of goodwill to go around. A primary way to do this is to give people a sense of the importance of their work. its importance to the company and its importance to customers. Eighth, take active interest in projects. A manager needs to do more than just communicate. They need to be involved. A powerful way to lead is from time to time to take on one of the less attractive tasks yourself. Use it as an example to show your employees how to meet challenges. Ninth and finally, you don't make the same decision twice. This is about decisiveness. Spend the time and thought required to make a solid decision the first time so that you do not have to revisit the issues unnecessarily. If a manager is too willing to reopen issues, it interferes not only with the team execution but also with their motivation to make decisions in the first place. People do not like indecisive leadership. But what about when times are difficult? When the business is stuck in a slump? We know about traits like vision, passion, and discipline. But when there is no recovery in sight, vision can seem hollow. And passion is not worth much if a competitor has a better product. In this difficult time, persistence is what has value. Beyond persistence, two other qualities inspire people and lead to sustained greatness. First is empathy. Understanding what your people, your customer, and even your supplier are going through is critical to making intelligent decisions in difficult situations or conditions. More than just understanding, it is the caring part of empathy that inspires people to stay with a leader when the going gets rough. The mere fact that someone cares is almost always rewarded with loyalty. The second quality is a willingness to understand one's personal responsibility. It is easy for managers to blame their business condition on others or on the economy. They just sit still and wait. Great leaders, by contrast, are quietly introspective. They are always asking whether they are a cause of the organization problems or whether they are truly doing everything that need to be done. Let's summarize this extensive section of effectiveness. First, you build the foundation by hiring carefully and creating a productive environment. Second, you set the path by defining realistic success and communicating constantly. Third, you grow the team by developing your people and building their morale. Fourth, you lead by example by taking an active interest and being decisive. And finally, you lead in crisis not just with persistence but with empathy and a deep sense of personal responsibility. This leads us to our final major topic, management responsibility. This concept rests on a fundamental premise: a firm is a social institution. It does not operate in a vacuum. Its very survival depends on maintaining harmonious relationship with the various segments of society. This harmonious relationship is built on the firm positive responsiveness to those different segments. The entire process of evolving this mutual relationship begins with when management acknowledges its responsibilities. These responsibilities are entrusted to the managers. Let's look at what they are. The list of responsibilities is long. First and foremost are the responsibility towards customers. A manager must understand that the customer comes first. The starting point for any business firm is and must be a deep understanding of the need of its customer. This is management foremost responsibility. Second are the responsibility towards shareholders. Except for a sole proprietorship, most companies collect capital from a variety of sources. Therefore, management has a primary responsibility to ensure the security of the capital those shareholders invested. And related to that, they are responsible for ensuring a desirable return on those investments. Third are the responsibilities toward employees. Employees are most important resources of a firm. Their hard work, their ingenuity, their loyalty, and their dedication are all critical contributors to the firm's success. What does management owe in return? Management has to see that employees are provided with fairness and equity. Fourth, the responsibility towards supplier. This is a two-way relationship. The organization depends on its supplier for regular and timely supplies. But the suppliers are also depend on the organization for clear specification. This relationship works best when it is based on principle of mutual interdependence. Fifth are the responsibility toward distributors and retailers. These groups are the critical link between the manufacturer and the end user. Management is responsible for ensuring regular supplies to them. The text gives a clear example of irresponsibility, supplying spoons in place of forks. Simply because the factory is out of forks is not a responsible way to deal with distributor. Sixth is a more nuanced responsibility towards industry and competition. This is a paradox. Other firms within an industry are competitors in the marketplace. However, they are associates when the group has to lobby for or represent the industry as a whole rather than as individual firms. Seventh, responsibility toward unions. The text states that the first responsibility of management is to acknowledge the union as a friend rather than a foe of the firm. Many problems that arise in this relationship are not due to an actual conflict of interest, but because of the negative attitude of management toward the unions. Eighth, responsibility toward government. This is straightforward. It is management responsibility to ensure that the constitution and operations of the firm are within the legal framework specified by the government. This legal framework will of course vary depending on the nature of the firm. Finally, ninth are responsibility towards society. This is a broad, overarching responsibility. Apart from all the specific segments we have mentioned, management also has a responsibility toward its physical surroundings and the people living in the vicinity of the firm. To recap this final section, a manager's responsibility is not just to their boss, it is a complex web of obligation to many stakeholders. They are responsible to market stakeholders, they are responsible to internal stakeholders, employees who deserve friendly fairness and equity, and unions who should be treated as friends. There are They are responsible to value chain stakeholders, suppliers, in relation of mutual interdependence and distributor who require regular supplies. And they are responsible to external stakeholder, the industry as associate, the government by operating within the legal framework, and society as a whole. We will conclude today's lecture by synthesizing everything we have learned. The responsibility of manager is to be part of the process of planning, organizing, directing and controlling of the activities and resources of an organization. Their purpose is to accomplish the organizational goals efficiently and effectively, all within an ever-changing environment. This brings us to our final and most important distinction: efficiency versus effectiveness. What is the difference? Efficiency is doing things in the right manner. It is about processes, resources, and speed. Effectiveness is doing the right things. It's about strategy, goals, and directions. Here is the key insight for every manager: is efficiency enough? The answer is no. Efficiency is essential, but efficiency without effectiveness cannot ensure the success of any organization. You can be very efficient at a task that should not be done at all. Therefore, manager must concentrate on achieving effectiveness by doing the things efficiently. That is the dual imperative of management. So dear students, this is all about today's lecture. Thank you very much for your active listening. Thank you very much.